You're all going to get the lovely voice telling you that we're recording. Very good. Welcome to our second annual SNATS Virtual Summit. It's lovely to actually see some chapters together for this event. I want to ask if you are willing, particularly if you have a chapter email address, but even if you just wouldn't mind, for those of you who are SNATS members, if you're willing and you don't feel it violates your privacy at all or anything, to put your email in the chat, that would be wonderful. So that we could just have those emails as further ways of collecting, knowing that you were here and having ways to contact you about SNATS business. And I want to make one more person a co-host. I'm almost there. Okay, without further ado, I'm going to get us then actually rolling to other things. First, I want to introduce some dignitary folks that we have with us. This evening, we have President Alexis Davis Hazell, current NATS president, who I'll turn it over to in just a minute to welcome you all. We have NATS president-elect Randy Umstead from Furman University here with us as well, and NATS executive director Alan Henderson with us this evening. Along with some advisors and all of you wonderful SNATS folks who are in the room with us this evening. Okay, with that, before I go any further, I just want to say this is the second time we've done this. Last year's event was really awesome, hearing all about chapter activities from across the country. I think some of you were actually there. I know Kenesha was. It was a really lovely evening of just hearing briefly what chapters had been doing, because sometimes it feels like, do we know anything about SNATS? And yes, actually, this has really become a wonderful way for us to hear, and for you all as chapters to get to hear what some of your other chapters are doing, and maybe it can inspire you to do some other things. All right, so with that, I'm going to turn it over to President Davis Hazell for our official welcome.
Good evening and welcome. I want to thank NATS Vice President of Outreach, Dr. Nick Perna, for inviting me to share a few remarks with you this evening. I'm very excited to be here. Your presence here signifies a commitment to excellence in the field of vocal studies, and I'm thrilled to witness the future educators and researchers among all of you. As members of SNATS, you're dedicated to a vibrant community that's dedicated to the art and science of singing. And you clearly recognize that this organization provides you a unique platform that allows you to connect with experienced professionals and gain valuable insights and develop careers that will blossom. I want to encourage you to continue to embrace every opportunity to learn from your peers, from your mentors, and from the wealth of resources that are available to you through our association. I'm very excited to hear about your experiences tonight and your journey for growth and learning and professional development. Just a few thoughts. The path to becoming a successful teacher or researcher is paved with curiosity, dedication, and a passion for continuous improvement. I and all of your advisors here are supporting you as you delve into your studies and explore methodologies and remain open to innovation in our field. The knowledge that you gain will not only enhance your abilities as individual performers or teachers or researchers, but also contribute to the vocal arts as a whole. So I just want to encourage you that our collective journey of learning is never ending, regardless of how long you continue in this field. And I want to encourage you that as you progress, that you'll seek out opportunities to share your knowledge and be an inspiration to others, because you are exploring a profession that allows you to shape the future. You are the future, but you're also shaping a new future of aspiring singers that'll come after you. And hopefully our research and our learning will open doors to new discoveries and advancements in vocal pedagogy. So I just want you to know we're here to support you every step of the way, and that we're going to strive for excellence together. And with that, I welcome you and send my best wishes for all of your journey through the rest of the semester.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Davis-Cecil. All right. So we are going to roll right into chapters. First up, we're going to hear from our Berkeley SNATS. Whatever it is. Kenesha, you can correct me. And they're going to start us off and tell us some things that have been going on up in Boston this year.
Hey everyone, I'm gonna present this real quick if it works today. That'd be great. Okay, great. Can we all see this? Oh, this is okay. Yes. Okay, great. Great. So we are Berkeley BOCO SNATS. Berkeley has a long title, Boston Conservatory has a long title, so we just go by Berkeley BOCO SNATS. I'm Kenesha Kellum. I'm a second-year musical theater vocal pedagogy grad student at BOCO, and I am the president. I also have my vice president and my treasurer, Joey Nicoletti, and Rachel Klippel in the audience today. Okay. So who are we? We are based in Boston, and we are conjoined with Berkeley and BOCO, and we are open to all students of all types of people, but particularly the students who are voice teachers, who are voice scientists, who are interested in voice research. That's who we are gearing towards. We focus in vocal pedagogy and ultimately just want to be better singing teachers with all aspects of music. We were formed in spring 2023, so we're new, but we are strong and we are continuing strong. We also, so Merced, who's not here today, was the vice president last year, and she formed SNATS Boston, which is an intercollegiate SNATS in the Boston area, since Berkeley BOCO is the only student chapter of all of the universities in the Boston area. There are a lot of colleges and universities in the Boston area, but the fact that Berkeley and BOCO are the only ones who do have one is interesting. So me and Merced have talked about it, and since she's doing it, trying to make it more intercollegiate with all of the universities in Boston. And I'll talk about some of the events that we've both been doing together. So this is our current board. We are a mix of graduate musical theater vocal pedagogy students, composition and performance. So Dr. Perna, you can hit up Ophelia if you want a new theme song. Film scoring, electronic production design. So everything that we've really been gearing towards is wide aspect of music of all types, of all genres. We are voice teachers and we are researchers. So 3 of our current board members, Joey, Rachel, and Petch, will all be presenting at the Voice Foundation this summer. So snaps to them. Super great, awesome, terrific. We are doing things. And since our SNATS is founded in the vocal pedagogy area, a lot of things that we have done is based in vocal pedagogy. So past events that we've done this year, we had a artist residency with Dr. Emily Rollins Bigler from Coastal Carolina, and she did group singing pedagogy. That was so fun. We had choir, we had voice, we had masterclass with her all about group singing. We had a studio success roundtable where we talked about what makes a voice studio successful and the highs and lows that comes with that. Along with doing scientific things, I also encourage fun, and that's in my own pedagogy. So we had a cocoa, cookies, and caroling, which is karaoke. And that was fun during the holiday season. And we also did a listen, learn, and teach, and we listened to some NATS audition videos, talked about those. That was fun. SNATS Boston did a repertoire roundtable where we focus on songs for children and teens and how we found those, how we teach those. And they did a peer studio. So we talked about all of the things that we talked about in our own studio and how to teach them. And yes, I think that was pretty much everything. But upcoming this week, literally Thursday, we will have Jamal Maple from NYU coming to Boco, and he will be there for 2 days, I believe. And he'll have a discussion with Nats about his journey into K-pop. So that'll be really exciting and fun. And then we will have a cross-genre masterclass, K-pop, gospel, rock, musical theater, all the works. And then with Nats Boston, he will have an event on Friday. And then our end of the year, we were going to do a musical movie watch party and talk about the vocal differences that people use for stage and movie or studio singing. So that'll be a lot of fun. Zoe Lipkin, who cannot be here today, is our incoming president, and the goals that she has for next year: skill building, logistical and practical teaching, and more workshops. So since she is classical and she's a classical vocal pedagogy, she really wants to encourage more extended vocal techniques. So she wants to look more into CCM. She wants more teaching feedback in the moment. She, like last year, we had a beatboxing workshop. So she wants to include things like that for next year. So that's next year. And that's us. If y'all want to follow us on Instagram, we post a lot. We're at Berkeley SNATS. And yeah, that's my time. Thank you so much.
Awesome, Kanisha. That's great. That movie watch party sounds really awesome. Movie musical watch party. That sounds phenomenal. Okay, great. Make sure I'm letting everybody in. Sorry. Very good. Cool. Next up on the agenda, just going by what I sent you presenters, USC SNATS. Sean, you are up next.
One second while I get set up. Thank you for your patience.
Sure. Also, thank you to everybody for putting your contact or your name and email in the chat. If you can, that'd be awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, can everyone see my screen okay? Wonderful. Thanks for the thumbs up. I love it. We've done this before. My name is Sean Stanton. I'm the current president of the USC student chapter of NATS. I'm also the founder of the Chicago chapter of NATS in conjunction with North Park University a few years ago. It's an honor to serve on a NATS board again. We had some internal difficulties registering as a student organization at USC last year, and so we're so excited to be back up and running. We have a new board that consists of mostly graduate students and DMA students here at the Thornton School of Music. And we are focused on community, networking, and teaching. Community is a big point, especially in LA, where students are traveling and living far away from campus. So providing opportunities where people can hang out and socialize and meet each other is really important for our chapter. Networking also, again, LA is a big city and it can be very difficult to get in contact with people. So exchanging emails, letting people know about events, saying, hey, are you going to this? Are you going to LA Opera? Are you going here? Oh, can I get a ride? Can I go with you? Has just been really transformative. And it's those little moments where you create a personal connection between members that I know outlasts each event. And most importantly, teaching. We have a really rich science-informed pedagogy program here with Professor Helbing, who also is our advisor, also on the NATS editorial board, of course. And she just provides such a wealth of information. We go to her very informally and formally and ask her questions about our students and our studio teaching, anything that comes up after we read an article from NATS. She also, of course, has access to the Journal of Singing for us, which is wonderful. And we're just so thankful to have a thriving community. Our membership consists of about 25% of the vocal arts department, and our goal is to boost membership to roughly about 50%. Also, we have been reaching out to other departments, the choral and sacred music, arts leadership, and music teaching and learning departments. They also have their own chapters of, like music teaching, MTNA, or ACDA chapters. So we try to be really respectful about making sure our events are different than theirs, but also not so niche that a choral student would be like, what is going on with that student NATS event? So something that's approachable where everyone would be involved in and be like, that's kind of interesting. Let me check it out. Our events, just some of them, have been the toughest cases with Professor Helbing, which I'll speak about in a moment. Gender affirming voice with our partnership with the Keck School of not School of Music, but the Keck Medical School at USC, building a voice studio where we invite USC alumni, specifically from the Student NATS chapter, to talk about how it is building a studio once they graduate, and having our membership drive. The one event that I do want to talk about specifically is the toughest cases. It's an event that the Student NATS chapter at USC has every year with Professor Helbing. It is foundational for us to talk about science-informed pedagogy with her 3-step teaching process. We will submit a 1 to 2 minute video of the student and give our assessment of what we think is going on. What's interesting, since we are young teachers, is sometimes our assessments can be slightly off or need to be tweaked. So once we get the assessment down and it's super clear what's going on with the student, we move on collaboratively as a group to diagnose and then prescribe what are the warm-ups, what are the protocols that we would give to the student to move the needle and see some growth within their development. And that is my short presentation with you guys today. I do want to thank you for this summit on behalf of the USC chapter of NATS. We are on Instagram and Facebook, and you can always email me. I'm free to talk more about Student NATS or about Thornton if anyone is interested or needs advice. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean. Wonderful. Okay, great. Next up on the agenda was our University of Toronto SNATS chapter. Charlie, you are up.
All right, just bear with me while I get things shared.
Take your time.
All right, let's see. What does this look like? Yeah, that's good. Okay, perfect. All right. So we are University of Toronto. Probably the lone Canadians in the crowd. But that's good. So this is University of Toronto SNATS. And I feel like this year we had a really great year. We did a plethora of things. We had 10 events. We raised over $300 in our bake sale fundraiser. We had 3 external guests, 5 in-house guests, and over 150 in attendance. So one of our largest event series is the SNATS Chats and Snacks. So students can come and have a snack while we talk about vocal ped. So we had 4 of those events this year. So they're usually mentor mentee opportunities. The mentors being the students from the graduate program, and the mentees being the undergrad students. So we had build your own larynx, where students are able to build their own larynx out of paper. We had kind of a more career mentorship, just kind of you can really kind of go there just to ask anything. Then we had a no wrong questions Q&A. So that was more for students who are looking to or who are nervous to ask particular questions to their professors. I feel like we take for granted like sometimes what we come into school knowing. And so that's an opportunity for undergraduates to ask some graduate students on what exactly, any question they have regarding vocal ped. And then, so you want to sing a musical theater event, so more CCM related event that was really eventful. All right, featured guests. So we had 4 featured guests this year. We had Allison Taylor, who's a certified Alexander Technique teacher. So she came in, she did a workshop on Alexander Technique. She's also a registered psychotherapist, which I thought was really interesting. And so she talked a little bit about that. Dr. Reza Valley, who was our distinguished visitor in composition at the U of T New Music Festival. And so he was we have a concert that's part of the New Music Festival. And so for that concert, he was our composer in residence. Aaron Bardua, who is doing some research in exploring formants of pop singers and kind of the similarities between what we find in classical music and in similar to pop music on a spectrogram. And then she also is looking at ways to notate pop music in different ways, so using different note heads and stuff like that in order to further articulate what we want through the page. And then Dr. Stephanie Higgins Marshall, who is associate professor at Shenandoah Conservatory, and she did a little master class on some musical theater pieces with some students from the graduate program. So here she is, a couple of images here. So we have Karin on the left, who's first year master's program, and then Sammy, who is taking the PEG class as well, same class. And so some in-house guests. So we have Alex Samaras, who's a prolific jazz singer in the Toronto scene. He teaches jazz at the faculty. We had Dr. Shannon Coates, who also did a little online lecture about teaching voice online. Dr. Jeffrey Walpert, who we have an electronic music studio here at U of T, and so he kind of helped us sing, or he helped us see our voices through spectrographic analysis in the studio. And Stephen Philcox, who helped us kind of administer all these coachings we had for our art song showcase, which I'll talk a little bit about later. So that's me on the right, and on the left is my friend Ty, and that's us working with Alex Samaras. So then we also here at U of T, we have an anatomy museum. So we weren't allowed to take any pictures because, they're parts that are suspended in formaldehyde and bodies that are dedicated to science. So we were able to kind of look at sections of the body, and we were looking mainly at parts of the body that were used for, or that are used for singing. All right. And then we have our Canadian Art Song Showcase. So this is kind of our biggest event of the year. We do this in collaboration with Canadian Art Song Project and, like I said before, the U of T New Music Festival. And we have a couple of objectives for this event. So for students in the doctorate and masters of voice pedagogy program, they will often coach the students in the process of getting ready for the show. So most of the students in the show are undergraduate students. This year we didn't get to do that, but they were able to observe coachings and so kind of learn by observing the interaction between our collaborative pianist, head of the collaborative pianist program here at U of T, and students, pianists, singers, composers who are working together to perform for this show. So in this show, we had 112 audience members, 33 student participants. The show time was about hour 15, and we had 7 faculty music student compositions. So I just want to say thank you to my faculty advisor, Professor Lorna McDonald, who helped and got a lot of these people here at the university, which is super wonderful. And that's everything.
Wow, amazing, Charlie. I'm also fairly convinced that that actually you and Sean, I don't think either of your faculty advisors sleep. So Lorna or Lynn, I don't think either of them ever sleep. So
Lorna does not sleep at all.
yeah.
The emails come from, yeah, all hours of the day.
Yeah. Really remarkable. Thank you, Charlie. That's incredible. Okay, wonderful. Northern Illinois, Evangelina, where are you? There. Oh, yes, Northern Illinois, please. The whole look at the whole room, folks. Seriously, look at the whole room of them.
Isn't this great?
I mean, come on.
My name is Evangelina Combs. I'm our president and founder at Northern Illinois University SNATS. I'll do a quick little rundown introduction since we got so many people here. Anna Connector, our vice president. Kaylee Emmer, our treasurer. You're not seeing double. We have twins who are both on our board. Emerson Value is our membership and outreach chair. Nolan Value is our secretary. And then we have two of our general members, Kyla and Lyric, who also wanted to come and learn more. We're a little last minute, so we don't have a presentation. So I'm sorry, you'll have to look at all of our beautiful faces smiling back at you. So we were founded in November 2023. So we're a little bit newer-ish. Our advisor, Dr. Samuel Handley, is actually the NATS Chicagoland chapter president. So it's been really great. He started teaching at Northern in fall 2023. I learned that he was the NATS president, and I was like, boom, here we go. This is how we can get this going. We've had some really great events going on the past 2 years, one of which our director of choral activities, Dr. Eric Johnson, has been super helpful with. He runs a choral arranging class that all music ed vocal majors are required to take. And he brings in a ton of guest speakers, and we get to work with them with our chapter. We've worked with Libby Larson, Stacy B. Gibbs, Fahad Siada, and we also work with composers who live in the area. There's a DeKalb-based composer named Mary Beth Kernat, and we world premiered some holiday music of hers last year and got to work with her, which was really great. Another person that we've gotten to work with is David Brunner, who's been an incredible, helpful person for our chapter. Lots of insight, lots of details from him. Some other really cool events that we've done. Sonder Choi, who is a LA-based Filipino and Chinese composer and choral artist. He did a residency here a couple years ago, and we were able to work with him, which we were very fortunate for. I think most excitingly for all of us, this past week, we had a partnership with Lyric Opera of Chicago, where we went to go to one of their dress rehearsals. We got to see the listeners, which was incredible. It was great. I'm slightly biased because I have family who sing there, so I always love it, but it was amazing. And even more amazing from that, with our partnership with Lyric Opera, recent Grammy Award-winning soprano Karen Slack came out to our campus, and we got to do a master class, and we got to have some students sing for her, and it was an incredible opportunity. I know a couple of us got to go to that, and it was really fun. She's an incredible singer, amazing human being. So we've been super grateful to be able to partner with Lyric Opera of Chicago a lot this year, using our resources as much as we can. A couple other upcoming events we have next month, correct me if I'm wrong, April? Sometime soon, I believe it's April. We are world premiering with our concert choir and chamber choir a new Tim Takash piece called We Are Phoenix, and we're going to get to work with him while he's here, which we're again super excited for. We're also going to Illinois ACDA this June, where we're going to work with Dr. Brandon Williams and choral arranger and composer Elaine Hagenberg, which is super amazing. So excited for that. A couple more like smaller events that we're doing. We're currently working on doing a panel that consists of music educators, performers, people in music business, union work, union reps, music technology, all kinds of different careers, so that people can come ask questions, kind of see like, oh, hey, if I want to major in music, it's also open to prospective students. If people want to major in music, like what can I do with a music degree? People can ask any kinds of questions they want, having a big array. Especially for the music educators, having K through 12 and collegiate professors on that board is going to be really great. We're super excited for that. Yeah, we're a little bit smaller, so we don't have too much. So that's about it. But yeah, we're super grateful again. Our advisor, Dr. Handley, he couldn't be here tonight, but he really has been so helpful, especially with being the Chicagoland president. He's been a great asset for us. I think we can all agree. But yeah, if you have any questions, I did put our email in the chat. It is niusnatschapter@gmail.com. Nothing too crazy. But thank you so much for the opportunity to be here and speak. We really appreciate it. And we've loved everyone's presentations so far, like vigorously writing down some of the things. So thank you guys so much.
That is fantastic. And Evangelina, you can tell Dr. Handley that I said hello. We went to graduate school together just a couple years ago, like 1 or 2. Actually, Sam and I not only went to graduate school together, we were Santa Fe Opera apprentices together.
No way.
And lived together in Santa Fe. So you can
Call him right now. No, I'm
say
kidding.
hi to Dr. Handley for me. Along with Dr. Umstead's wife, President-elect Umstead's wife, Bronwyn, Professor Forbay was also with us as apprentice artist in Santa Fe altogether, just 1 or 2 years ago. It was just a short time ago, because we're all of 25. Anyway. Okay, at this point, I know I had spoken to Addie as we were logging on about presenting K-State, but also before I turn it over to Addie to share some of K-State's activities this year, if anybody else who has a chapter who wants to share some of your chapter activities, this is an open time. This is not like the most formalized thing ever. We're not going to limit you. So if you are out there and you want to share some of your chapter stuff from this year, you are more than welcome. And then we're going to have a time of Q&A for you to ask questions or, to either about the presentations or just about SNATS in general or about NATS in general. But Addie, go ahead. We talked about you sharing some of K-State's activities.
Yes, so I'm Addie. I'm the new president for our K-State chapter of SNATS that happened about mid-semester. So something that we decided we wanted to focus on was kind of like the mental health of the students right now because it's getting to be April. It's that time where operas are happening, they're finishing up, juries are coming up, everything's happening. So something that we wanted to do was an activity, and we're mostly made out of undergraduate students that are in like vocal performance or music ed. So everyone's involved in everything here. We wanted to do a SNATS board game night. So utilizing our amazing library that's been redone, and they have so many great resources. We're gonna have them give us games and we're gonna just all play. We're providing snacks, which we're able to get local businesses involved with that. So they've Chick-fil-A donated about 30 cookies for us and then these vouchers, and all you have to do is contact them and ask. So I highly suggest doing that, especially to like businesses that are specific to your area, not just like big things like Chick-fil-A, but they will usually do it. So we have AJ's Pizzeria, and they are giving us like about 2 pizzas. So we're doing it. That's coming up this Wednesday at 6 to 8 p.m., a come and go thing, just for like everyone to relax. It can be like a recruiting tool as well, having people bring their own friends. And then we just had our opera. So I thought it'd be a great way for everyone to just feel rewarded after working so hard. So that's one of the things that we just decided we were gonna do. We had lots of people participate in the West Central NATS, and that was a lot of fun too. So yeah, we've had a good year.
That is fantastic, and a great idea. Actually, getting some of those local businesses to perhaps continue partnering with you and donating some things, and that's fantastic for your events. Okay, great. Emma wanted to share some about UW Whitewater. Go ahead, Emma. You're up.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Nicholas. I'm Emma. I am the president of the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater's, our SNATS chapter. And our advisor, Brian Leeper, is here as well. And Brian is recently the North Central Regional Governor, so he's been a lot of help to us as well throughout the year. But yeah, so this year, what we do pretty annually is we go to our Wisconsin NATS Festival, which this year it was held where was it held? I don't know, but we traveled. So we used some university funding, which is really awesome. And so we were able to help our students get there more easily, pay for lodging, and so that they could participate and not have to worry about funding. This year we had about 25 students participate, and quite a few of them were finalists, medalists, which was awesome. In addition to that, we did some of our own fundraising. So since COVID, we have kind of had a decrease in the number of members we've had. So we wanted to kind of get things going with fundraising. So we did a Quick Trip car wash fundraiser, which I know Quick Trip is pretty much just a Wisconsin thing, but I know there are some other ones in the Midwest. And it was super profitable. We made over $1,000. So I would highly suggest that you check that out. Essentially, all we did was we set it up with Quick Trip, and we were able to purchase a bunch of the car wash coupons. I don't know if you're familiar, but essentially, like, you would get five washes at the car wash, and like, I don't know, it was like $16 from a $40 card would go towards our organization. So we had a lot of participation in that, and it was super profitable. I just thought I'd throw that out there. But as far as other events that we do is before we go to our NATS festival, we have a SNATS student recital. So it's put on entirely by our organization, and essentially we just have everyone who would like to participate sing a song or two. And yeah, like, it's fully run by us. We pay the recital fee and everything. So that's really fun. We had quite a few family members and friends from the university come and watch. So that was super awesome. This year we also got t-shirts and crew necks, tons of merch, which was super exciting. That totally boosted engagement, I think. We were able to wear the apparel to our NATS festival that we attended. And yeah, it was super awesome. Just a cool feeling of unity for the whole group, I think. Let's see what else. We're hoping to go see Madison Opera's doing Don Giovanni in May, so we're hoping to fund tickets for students to see that. We also did like just a volleyball night and a bowling night just to kind of get out of our arts building. And we're hoping to have another showcase recital this spring. So yeah, that's kind of what we do here at Whitewater. We're a smaller group, and we compete with other organizations, so we try to make it as accessible for people as possible. So thank you so much.
That's awesome, Emma. Thank you for sharing that. Is there anybody else who wants to share their specific chapter activities before we open up for some just Q&A? You all can kind of chat with each other a little bit. Was there anybody else that wanted specifically that I didn't have a chance to share yet? Okay, cool. Well, you can here at any point. I have a few things I want to just add. First of all, and I'll bring this back up at the end, but last year when we did this was a really inspiring event, getting to hear you all talk about your activities. And I know it may not seem like there's that many of us here, but we're going to send this out to all chapter presidents and advisors, this video. And again, for the second year in a row, I'm very, very impressed by the student leadership and the the volunteerism and the effort that many of you put into your chapters is really quite remarkable. Several things I want to say to you. First, I want to encourage you, if you've not applied for any SNATS grant this year, I want to encourage you that as you continue and just as your chapters continue, particularly as you do have some chapter funds, either from whether that be from something like a fundraiser or something like just membership dues for your chapter, that I would encourage you to apply for SNATS grants. And if you have questions about that, just shoot me an email and I'll make sure you know what to do. I also want to encourage something I really want to start pushing with SNATS chapters is participating, considering joining NATS as a pre-professional member, which we have now lowered the price of to a mere $25. And one of the things that you could do as a pre-professional member of NATS would be to take advantage of the NATS National Mentoring Collaborative, which is an opportunity for only $150. This would be an individual doing this, but you could connect with a mentor, a teacher, who maybe you have a research project and you're not quite sure who to reach out to about it, or something with your own teaching that you wanted to ask someone other than just your pedagogy teacher at school or whatever. The NATS National Mentoring Collaborative gets you 2 Zoom sessions with a NATS mentor for a very small amount, and we have some fundraising initiatives going on for that as well to try to make that cost even less. So that's something I wanted to make you all as SNATS members aware of, because we don't have a lot of student pre-professional members taking advantage of that, and it's something I'd like to see. Also, if you're able maybe to get some travel funds from your school or something, we do have International Congress of Voice Teachers coming up this summer in Toronto. Yay, Toronto in the house. You know, I'm not going to make any political statement about whether or not we'll be able to travel to Canada in the future. We can edit this part out of the YouTube. And also want to encourage you, upcoming, if you do have research or you have projects that you're doing, we will have submissions opening for NATS National in San Antonio in 2026 that will open here in a few months. Particularly want to encourage you at the end of the year, at the end of this calendar year, 2025, will be our submission deadline for our poster sessions at NATS National, and that would be a wonderful opportunity for you and some of your members to get maybe some of your work out there and presented. It is a screened thing, and it's competitive. It's, as Alan corrected me, it's actually open now. So there you go. The submission is already open. I guess I was thinking of the submissions closing. But those are some things just that are up and coming with NATS that I wanted you to be aware of, and particularly also those of you who are graduate students and things, please, consider joining. We now also have, and somebody correct me because I'm going to say it wrong. Is it emerging membership category? Did I say that right? Yes?
Emerging professional
membership, which allows you for 3 years to join NATS as a member at a lower cost. I believe it's $85. 5 years. For 5 years, not 3 years. 5 years. Numbers are not my great thing in life. That allows you to take advantage of being a NATS member and being able to enter your students and adjudicate and all this kind of thing, and our other advantages of being a member, subscription Journal of Singing, but for a lower cost for up to 5 years, which is a nice way to transition into the organization as a emerging professional member. Yeah, so those are the things I wanted to make sure that I mentioned to you all. You all shared such wonderful things. Do you all have questions for each other and for any of the other NATS luminaries who are here tonight? You've got, half the executive committee here on this call. So if you want to know anything, they'll be able to answer your questions. I probably won't, but no, seriously, do you all have questions for each other? Do you all, such incredible things you all shared with each other. Unbelievable. But don't be shy. Yes, Emma, go ahead.
I just have a question for the other organizations. What time of day do you guys meet? Because we've had issues figuring out the best time of the day or how often. So whoever, if you could just drop it in the chat or say it aloud, that'd be great.
I'll kind of jump in for this. I don't know if, how other schools have this, but I know for us, we have vocal convocations that are required, and it's usually a Tuesday or a Thursday, every other week maybe. Yeah. So students are required to have that 11 a.m. hour on Tuesdays and Thursdays just blocked off in case there is a convocation, but there's not one every week. So we just schedule our meetings whenever we know there's not one, or worst case scenario, if it's tech weeks, recitals, concerts galore, which happens, we'll do a virtual one just whenever everyone can be there, but we prefer to be in person if possible. but we just find like an hour that we're like, all right, everybody has this free because it's required. And we just kind of go with that because we didn't do that last year and it was really hard to find meeting times. It was like all schedules were like this. But if you have something like that, maybe that would work. I don't know. But that's what's worked really well for us.
Kanisha, you have your hand up. You want to respond to that?
Yeah, so our school is weird, especially since we have two schools in one chapter. So the best time that we found out was, and we really wanted it to be loose for a lot of people since we're all performing and all doing a lot of things. So we only meet once a month, which sounds like that's not enough, but it actually works out for at least what we do. And we meet for an hour once a month, 4:30 to 5:30, like every third Friday. And it's just been working out. I know that the new board wants to try to do maybe twice a month or do something more just to get more participants. But that's what we've been working with this year.
Yeah, that's a good question. Abby put a question in the chat. What if we have two schools in one chapter? I mean, I think
I
that
can talk about that.
No, I think though, I think your response though of like the once a month meeting, I mean, sometimes that's a great solution. I mean, rather than trying to meet every week.
Yeah, because there's a lot of, so Berkeley is way bigger than Boston Conservatory, and that's where majority of the clubs are based. And I'm in some of them, and they meet every week during like rehearsal times. Like they meet during the evening, and sometimes I just can't meet there. So there's like this really nice area where there's no rehearsals and you're done with classes. And unfortunately, it's on a Friday whenever we could be going home. But one Friday out of the whole month, I think, we figured it out pretty well and it's been pretty good.
Sure, fantastic. Any other points of discussion? That was Rich, a really great. That was a really great question.
I know one of our members had a quick question.
Please.
Hi, my name is Nolan. I believe it was University of Southern California. You guys shared a little bit about collaborating with your medical students and medical schools about presentations and studies on the gender affirming voice. Would you be able to share a little bit more information about that?
Yes, the gender affirming voice event that we have coming up is with Felicia Francois, and she's an SLP. She is a part of the Keck team, and we have a collaboration with the School of Music, Thornton School of Music, and the Wellness Committee, which I also serve on at Thornton. So there's a couple things going on. So we have Thornton School of Music, we have the Wellness Committee, and then we have Keck School of Music. And those three parties work together to try to provide students with one-on-one personal care. If they have the USC health plan, then there's certain care providers they can see. And if they do not have the USC health plan, then we still work with them to try to get them to the correct provider. Specifically for the event that we're having, yes, it's an event about knowledge of gender affirming voice, but it's also making sure that more people in the community understand that Felicia and her team at the Keck Voice Center are available. And so if their friends or other colleagues or people in class mention something about their voice feeling fatigued or tired, or maybe they are wanting to seek gender affirming care, that they know who to go to. The first step is just making sure that we take away the stigma of seeking care and the stigma around even talking about gender affirming care. So that's really the goal of that session. We will have a Q&A session at the end where students can ask any questions to Felicia that they have. So that's really important. There is a YouTube video of this event, I think from 3 years ago. If you're very interested in it, just send me an email. I don't think it's public, but I can share it with you. We also could open up the event on Zoom probably if there's a lot of people who are interested. The partnership with Keck was already established, but I would really encourage you, even when I was in Chicago, we reached out to, SLPs, and they love talking to singers. They really want to be there and be supportive and present in our community. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. We have several questions in the chat specifically regarding student recruitment, it seems. How getting students involved. So I'd be particularly interested in it if any of you chapters like Toronto, BOCO, USC. I know your chapters have been around for a while and thriving. Oh, NIU, you got 78 people there tonight. Does anyone have any specific ideas? I'll share one thought that I always like to say at this event, and then I'll turn it over to anybody who wants to respond to that. But one of my things that I just really want to encourage every chapter to be doing is to ensure that you have a vice president in place who is a returning student, so that you have an order of succession. It is one of the most important things for your chapter to keep going. But does anybody want to respond or have any interesting ideas and ways you've attracted members or shown the value to get people involved? Anybody?
I'll just say it's been really difficult. And I don't want to like scare you with that, but and Joey could probably also talk about this. But because we are two schools, and this is just speaking for us and speaking in the I, we try to do so many different things that compel to other people, but since we've been so focused on gearing towards people who teach voice or want to teach voice, that's limited the amount of people that have been present. But it's also something that we've been trying to cultivate compared to just, we're going to talk about everything, compared to we're focusing on the one thing. So I think if you have an idea of how to focus what your chapter is about, it may be small, but then you can get people that consistently come. And that's what we've had this year. And if Joey wants to talk more about that.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of what Kenesha said, I think what has really helped us out, especially this year, is having a really solid mission for our organization that we've then been able to not overstretch because we are still relatively small. You'd think it'd be easy to find people who want to join a music club at a music school, but boy, oh boy, let me tell you. Everybody's in rehearsal, everybody has things to do. But the second you are able to not only solidify your mission as a chapter, but also make as many connections with outside organizations as you can. For like BOCO has ties with MGH's Voice Center, so we're able to bring in guest clinicians. We also make sure that we partner with any of the guest residency people that come in and give master classes or guest residencies at BOCO so that they can come in and talk specifically to SNATS. That's also been really fascinating work. And I think the biggest thing for us, especially last year, is just visibility. If you're in a graduate program going into undergraduate pedagogy classes and speaking about SNATS, because realistically, they're the ones who are going to be enrolled the longest, that's incredibly useful as well.
That's actually a great idea. I need to tell my own graduate students to do that. Thank you for that. For me, that's a fantastic idea. No, thank you for those. That's great. We are kind of getting up toward the top of the hour. Are there any more specific questions that anybody wanted to ask?
This isn't a question, but I just wanted to say thank you for all of the inspiration, and I'm really looking forward to growing our Rhode Island SNATS chapter. So thank you for all of the ideas.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us this evening. Okay, well, not hearing anything else. Alexis, Alan, do you have any parting words that either of you would like to share?
I just dropped a note in the chat. I'm super proud and very excited to hear about all of your activities. The idea of focusing on what's going to be important to the students that are in your area, I think, is very wise. So I think that's a really great piece of advice for people to consider. Obviously, you know your community, and you have to sort of investigate the field and maybe survey your colleagues to find out what people are interested in and focus in that direction. But very, very inspired, and I'm looking forward to you guys. Seriously, the next generation, I feel good about it. So thank you, and let's keep sharing this great work.
Absolutely. Those are my sentiments exactly. And Randy and Alan both put things in the chat. Thank you for everything you all do for your chapters. Seriously, these are student-driven organizations, and you all are absolutely, a testament to the next generation of NATS leadership. And we will look forward to welcoming you onto chapter boards and region boards and the national board eventually, and we thank you for your participation. Unless anybody has anything else they desperately want to ask, I'm gonna go ahead and say that we are adjourned. Thank you all for being here so much. It was a wonderful event again, and we will get you a link to the video. Okay? So thank you for being here, and thank you for everything you do for SNATS.
Thank you so much for having us.